welcome to another episode of East Meets West. Today, we're talking on management and leadership. And I know many of us actually get confused as to should I be a manager, should I be a leader? And you might be baffling, okay, what's the difference between these two titles per se? And I have with me Coach Harish, all the way from India, as we discuss and give you a few pointers that can help you understand what is the difference between being a manager, being a leader, and do you need both? Let's talk about it. So, welcome, Coach Harish.
Good evening from India. Good afternoon to people in Guyana and whosoever is watching us and who will watch us in future. Proud to be associated with this young lady from Guyana. She was destined to come in my life and she has come. And she is here to stay, I must confess. So we together have been sharing almost 10 episodes and this is the 11th episode. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
And today, as we speak leadership, I am reminded of my great guru, John Maxwell. And I am reminded of these famous words everything rises and falls on leadership. So, leadership is all about focus and passion. Leadership is about purpose and power. Leadership is about leading from the front, from the back, from the center. Leadership is all about taking ownership, accountability, and responsibility, not only to grow yourself, but to grow the people along with you. As I look at it, and management is all about competency and productivity. Management is about competency and productivity. Those people who can manage, we need to manage them as leaders. So they manage processes, and processes are run by people. So we manage the process owners by leading them. How easy it becomes. Leadership is about strategy, and management is about execution. How you manage people, they manage processes, and how you deliver through their competency, productivity, and results. And leadership brings in positive motion, whereas management brings in logic and results. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yes, indeed. But, some of us, we think that, okay, you cannot be a leader and a manager, but can you be both? There are some people who say, well, I want to be a leader, but I don't want to be a manager. Or they say, I want to be a manager, but I don't want to be a leader. Is that something possible that you can be either of?
I will share with you four principles which are ingrained and visible in leadership. They are powerful communicators. Number one, they teach others to think and they adjust with their speed. And finally, they have the attitude of a big picture. They can see the big picture. And they come out being abundant. They move there with abundant. The attitude, the behavior, the leadership quality is about leading together that bunch of people who manage processes and they need to be managed by leadership. Whereas management is all about aligning the people within the team with focus, follow through, and organizational discipline. I repeat, aligning the people who manage processes, who manage each process to bring the total product or service into shape which gives them the productivity and the profitability. So they need to align, see the goal, and focus on the people, follow through them, making them do, and bring in that discipline as a culture in the organization. So, if you ask me, can you do both? If you do both, who is accountable for the results? You as a manager, you as a leader. Leadership, if you ask me, is all about strategy, and management is all about execution. That's a simple process. Leader decides strategy, and management team execute the strategy. Leadership is all about the 80% is strategy and 20% is about managing those processes, those disciplines which have been created, and those people who are responsible to execute those decisions to get the desired result in terms of productivity, in terms of profitability, and in terms of giving the people the joy, the happiness of doing through the emotional connect. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So there's this saying, right, that all managers are leaders, but all leaders are not managers. And so as you were speaking, I thought of that yes, we all managers are leaders, and I keep remembering John Maxwell. What he said is that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And so we are all influencing someone on a daily basis as managers too. We are all influencing someone, so we can be maybe the leaders. Indeed, as a manager I can be a leader, but can the leader be a manager? Can all the leaders, yes, they can be if they want to, but are they all a manager? What are your thoughts as you look at leaders and how they manage?
My perception is very clear on this. If you look at what I look at, leaders have to stand out, number one, and they cannot manage processes. The process owners are supposed to manage the processes, and we have to manage the process owners as leaders. So I have made it very clear they are a bunch of people who manage the total process of creating the product or the service, and we as leaders create a strategy, the how to create the process, and they are executing the process to create the product, the service, and the profitability through the adaptability of moving to become process owners, taking ownership of that process. And if you want to be a leader, if you ask me, every process owner also is a leader because he is managing a group of people as to give the desired result. But in organizations, there has to be one word: leadership and management has to be aligned. Alignment is the most important part. What the leadership thinks, decides, creates, the management has to agree, commit, and do. If there is lack of alignment, the first thing we need to do is bring clarity that who we are, what is my purpose, and what do I need to do. I am a manager or I am a leader, and leaders are meant to create the business strategy, not the execution strategy. The execution strategy is a part of the management and it's defined by them through processes. They have to get the processes done and manage those people who are doing those processes. So I am very clear you cannot be this and that. You either be this or you either be that. I agree. When you are small, you want to do everything on your own. But as you grow, you need to have 80% is strategy, 20% is execution. That's why we write a plan and the execution team has to adhere to the plan and do the plan, those action steps which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That management team has to tick those boxes which have been defined, agreed, committed, and created by the strategy team, which is the leadership team. So I am very, very careful when I coach people. I define the role of the manager, the role of the business owner, and the leader in the team who is taking ownership of creating the strategy and getting the right people in the right place to create the right team to execute the strategy. So that may be business development, that may be people development, leadership development, process, or finally the purpose of the organization, the values of the organization. So if you ask me, every business has to be sustainable, predictable, sustainable, predictable, stable, consistent, and had to have an emotional connect. If all these principles, if all these disciplines are available, no one can see you fall. You'll only rise and create that market which is your own, and you lead the market as the market player. And your leadership speaks volumes when there is total alignment between you and the management. And the bridge between these two is the board who create those leaders and who create the execution team and set values, set systems, set processes to execute those products, create those products which are high value and which generate the margins and the profits to sustain the business, grow the business, and create a customer who is happy with you, because you have to serve a customer, you have to serve the community, you have to serve the stakeholders, and you have to serve the employees. And those are the five constituents which you need to serve through the five disciplines. And I'm happy to teach people on the five disciplines for exponential growth, starting from strategy to business development to people development to process, and finally the fifth one. Do you know, Shanti, what is the fifth one? The mission of the company. What is the purpose? What is the value? And I'm happy to share the five disciplines for exponential growth and alignment of leadership and management to create a culture of organizational excellence with the team that you have created between the management and the leadership team. And I love sharing this every time I meet business owners, leaders, and process owners who manage teams. And management is all about managing men in time. So those people who manage men in time, Management, the time. So it's important to identify who is a manager who manages people and processes, who is the leader who guides, creates, and helps them to see the plan and visualize it through the process that they do and get the plan done so that It's all about time, time, time. You see, managing men in time so that people do in time through smart goals every single day, and the results are visible every day through every action that they have taken. And proud to share that the knowledge we have gained from John Maxwell in leadership, from Brad Sugars in business coaching, from Marshall Goldsmith in executive coaching, and my dear friend Les Brown on how to communicate to people that you have got the right thing in you so that you can deliver it and maximum you can achieve through a team which works and which works without you on the principles that you have created. And I'm happy to share this and happy to teach people,
And
whether
we're
it's
teaching
east
them
or
too.
in west. Doesn't matter whether in Guyana or in India or Asia Pacific. I'm happy to teach people how to become the person they were born to become, how to lead, how to create some great teams, how to start listening to people and create a culture where growth is visible every single day. And remember, Shanti, the way people behave in organizations, it's visible. Is it a vibrating team or it's a moving to different sides and they can't hold hands together and they can't see eye to eye or they can't do the work together because there are some big fat egos. And leadership is not about ego. Leadership is all about creating a team filled with some hungry leaders to take the team to the next level and create productivity, profitability with perfection so that they can be known as the right team or the A team or the best team. That's my story, and I'm happy to share with you.
So I thought of an article that I was reading from Harvard Business Review, and the author was talking about some areas that you know when you have, I would say, graduated from being a manager to a leader. And one of the area he was saying that you can look at was your influence, the circle of influence. So if you are, a leader influence everyone, but even in your organization and those people, the people who are outside your direct report, right? Those who are reporting or those who are outside of that reporting structure, how many people outside is actually coming to you for advice? And that's where you know where your sphere of influence is actually increasing and where you as a leader is moving in a different direction now from management to more leadership based on the number of people that outside of your sphere is actually asking you for advice. What are your thoughts on that?
I am very, very clear. A leader needs to be an inspired human being. Every morning when he gets up, he should be inspired personally. And the moment he starts speaking to himself or the people, that should be inspiring. He should motivate, every word of his should be motivating people to do more, to become more, and grow more. Only then people become followers. And when you have followers with you, you say and they do, and it happens. The results speak that because of your influence, you made the impact in those people's lives, and they made the right decision by doing the right thing at the right time and following what you shared with them, told them, gave them a road map, and they know that when my leader says, do this way, I do it, and I get the desired result. That promise which shapes up is visible once you accept the person as a leader because he has some special qualities. And those qualities are acquired over a period of time. I know some people say you are a born leader, but if you don't learn and become better and better every single day, you don't lead, you stop leading. And Shanti, the biggest quality is listen, listen, listen. A leader has to be a great listener. And when people are listening to him, they see that this leader is relevant 24 by 7. When that leader is relevant 24 by 7, people respect him and give him the title leader. And when that title grows on him, that becomes his reputation. And he are very, very, very strong to let the reputation become bigger than who you are. And finally, people call that name. You know that leader, he's the best person. And I acquired this skill, this knowledge, and this belief from him. And it's all about how powerful he became. So, leadership is about purpose, leadership about passion, and leadership is all about power. The right person with the right purpose, with the right passion, has get has to get the right power so that he can create followership. And leadership is followership, and followership happens when there is a bond, there's a relationship between him and those followers. And this comes out of respect, integrity, trust. And when you keep doing it every day, you become excellent in this process. And if you are known as the leader, and this word is recognition which goes to the world. Yes, we acknowledge that so and so person is the leader, and this team is managed by this leader, and there are some great people managing the managing process. So I'm happy to share that today. And I'm sure in your world, in your country, people need to become great listeners. People need to become great thinkers. People need to become total clarity, total communication with themselves. The right and the wrong, they are going to immediately find out what is right for me, for everyone, and I need to do it. And finally, when you have less of E and let it go, people become leaders because they need to respect people and listen to people and share with them their knowledge so that they can influence. Your word influence comes in and make an impact in those life of those followers, that they believe in you, they follow you. And followership is all about believing in the leader. And when they believe in the leader, they know that they cannot go wrong. That's the proud privilege of being a leader. And every leader works hard on himself to become good to great in the journey of leadership. And I'm proud to say 43 years in the business of leadership is today my strength. And I'm happy to serve people to get the leader in them and become the legend in this lifetime. So I do this program called Leadership, Leaders to Legends, and how much they have to work harder on themselves than they ever did on their job, because every moment counts and every moment matters. And if they matter, people will matter. And if people matter, there's productivity, profitability, perfection, and proud to say that leadership is all about doing it, showing it with care. The care is the most important part, and that is we call the emotional connect, which has to come, and that is visible through the leader's behavior. The be, do, have comes out, and I'm so happy to see that happen, where strong leadership is all about believing in the leader, doing what the leader says, and acknowledging this to the world that because of these people who I serve, I am the leader that I am today. It's a lot of work. And today, as we speak, we talk about servant leadership, we talk about agile leadership, we talk about leadership which manages themselves every day in a dynamic environment and create an environment which is influencing people's lives and making them happy and creating abundance in their lives and removing them from the scarcity mind which got into their head when this pandemic started. So it's all about leader ruthlessly working hard and caring, and he's the power of communication helps in doing it.
I thought of, as managers have subordinates and leaders have followers. And so you need to look at that part of it. Lastly, before we close this session, is that I think some people run away with the idea that, oh, if you're a leader is all about, yes, inspiring people, motivating people, and hype them up. And you have this organization where everybody is just jolly, and then there's the part of the results. So you can have a very well motivated team, and then you don't focus on the result side of the business or the organization's achieving its objectives. So I think some people have this idea that leadership is about that alone and not about the results. And so when I think of it, that's why it's needed that you have the management side of it and you have also the leadership side of it, so that when you yes, you motivate and you inspire the team, but it is them who will have to go and do the work to bring the results side of the business, so or the organization. So it's not about just about the people side, but yes, about the organization. Because if you are also not achieving your goals and the objectives of the organization, you might not have that organization very long, right? And so I wanted to clear that part up with some people who think in that angle that it's all about all the mushy feelings and all these on leadership side of it. And yes, it's about the people, it's about serving the people, about helping people to get what they need. And but what about the company? What about the organization's objectives? What about that part of it? Right. So I don't want you to run away with the wrong idea. I believe that it needs to be meshed in that both side needs to come. A great leader will be one who is developing other leaders, so that when they're gone, that organization doesn't crumble, but it continues and it continues growing. So you must be able to have some management skills in you too as you work. So both side needs to come, and you need to work, see where you might be weak in, and start develop, whether it's your management skills or as leadership, which side of the leaders. Not everybody can be motivating and encouraging. So if I need to work on that side of it, then where do you stand? That maybe you need to work on both side of it too. But what are your closing remarks as we close the program
I
today?
would like to repeat what I mentioned at the start. Leader has to teach others to think who they are, what they are here for, and why should people care for them. This is a clear communication from the leadership that you have an assignment, a role, a commitment which you need to do. And leaders need to see that they have the big picture clarity in their mind, where they are today and where they need to take the organization tomorrow. And when they have the right people, they have the right communication, only the team needs to be aligned, focused, and then follow through day on day and bring in that discipline that the organization sees. And organizational discipline brings organized people to think, listen, grow, and lead together. And that's very, very important. And leadership should be able to bring that alignment and see that the results are coming as planned, as defined, as agreed. And then when we talk about KRAs, KPIs, and SMART goals, they are to be done by the management and the team they manage. So it's important for people to understand that the strategy is made by the leadership team. And in every business, if you ask me, 80% is strategy and 20% is execution. But the strategy should be so clear that the execution team is in a position to do it through the processes which are defined, to do it in a manner which gives them results in time, on time, before time, not after time, because that is the clarity they need to have. And when you do a particular thing over and over and over again, that consistency takes you to perfection, and perfection is all about mastery, mastery, mastery. We define mastery, and in business, you can master every activity. As you and me have learned product mastery, time mastery, delivery mastery, and which is the fourth one, Shanti?
Finance
Destination mastery,
or destination.
where we finally need to be there, where we finally need to go. So when
I
you
do
work
believe
on this,
that the destination is supposed to be first, because if you don't know where you're going, you would not, how do you plan? How do you execute?
and that is where you and me come as a business coach, as a leadership coach, as a strategist who helps you find who you are, what do you want, and where you need to work on yourself as your personal development to become the leader you need to be, to lead the team you need to manage, and to grow the product and service and earn the money you are supposed to be. And you are special. And everybody who's special needs to grow disproportionately to bring that business that he was supposed to, can, and will, with the energy that is available as a leader. And with that energy, he changes the life of the people who are in his team. And everybody is so vibrant, hungry, productive to bring that result. Finally, it's all about results, not about reasons. It's all about results. When people take ownership, when people take accountability, when people take responsibility, they will get the desired results. And I'm happy to share those people who live a life of blame, excuse, and denial talk about reasons, not about results. And we work with people who look at results, not as reasons of not doing. So, this is my story, and I'm happy to share with you today.
Thank you, Coach Harish. And yes, it's all about results, and yes, it's all about the people too. So we must be able to marry them together so that we can be better leaders and, yes, better managers. Because there are times when you will need to pull out your management cap and wear that, and when you need to put on the leadership cap and knowing when to do what. So thank
Shanti,
you.
you are aware. Right people, right place, right time, right product gives you right results. Make it simple.
Yep,
And anything that is not right needs to be sorted out immediately.
yep,
The final outcome is the result. If you don't have the right people, right product, right time, right decisions, you don't get the right results. It's important. So I'm happy today that we could differentiate the role of a leader, the role of a manager or a management team member, and his job is to manage processes, And my job as a leader is to manage those people who manage those jobs so that ultimately we get the desired results.
So thank you, Coach, and see you guys in the next session as we talk about leadership and leadership development. We share our experiences, and your thoughts also matters. And if you can apply anything that can help you become better, that's our goal. We want to keep adding value. So take care. Take care, Coach.
Thank you, and blessed to be a part of the program to serve current future leaders to become legends in a few years' time. Listen, learn, grow, and lead is the formula you need to adopt. Thank you. Thank you, Shanti. Thank you.